Welcome back to the Branch and Bloom podcast. This is where heritage takes root and families flourish. I'm Jessica.
I'm Christina.
And I'm Brittany. And we today are going to talk to you about the mother-daughter dynamic. And I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We could shed tears.
I don't think so.
We might not shed tears.
We can neither confirm nor deny that there will be tears.
But we are excited to talk about this because we have grown into women who have a very close relationship, both of us, with our mom as well as with one another.
Yeah.
Despite very different personalities.
Yes.
Despite very rocky relational teen years.
Life years.
Yeah.
Early adult years.
Yeah.
And so we just want to give you a little encouragement for those of you who are daughters or mothers of daughters, of just little things in our lives that have really fostered closeness and openness together. So when you think back, little Brittany, what did little Brittany love that mom did? What made you feel close?
Oh, man. That's hard. I really think we were talking about this, the availability. I think that you always did bedtime. You always said good night, did it sort of tuck in, nothing specifically routine.
We read sometimes, we sang sometimes. Sometimes it was just a kiss goodnight. But yeah.
Yeah. So as a little kid, that is more what you always just felt dependable and steady and like just there, like mom's there.
Very present, very engaged.
Yeah.
This was way
and affectionate too.
Yeah, affectionate, way before smartphones ever entered the picture.
Yes.
Which I think is one of the bigger downfalls of parenthood now, and something that I know I have to fight against, is making sure I'm not just like bodily present, but also mentally, emotionally present.
I saw this video just the other day. It was millennials reflecting on their parents, and it was the girl's like, it's in the video, she's leaving to go to work, and the caption is saying, it was something like, yeah, my parents just weren't around very much, they worked hard, but blah, 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 something, weren't really there a lot or weren't really available. And then it flashed to kids today, and it had the mom sitting on the couch with the kid, but she's scrolling on her phone, and it had like the same caption, my parents just weren't, not super available, just, I thought that was so sad.
That's
It
very
is.
sad.
It
But
is.
that's a real struggle. I mean, I feel sad for you guys that you actually have to combat that. I think you both do a great job, but it is this other huge, it's not even just like a factor. It's a big factor in our lives.
We just are coming off the holidays and being together and busy and cooking and doing all the things. My phone usage went way down.
Yeah.
And I was aware through the week of how like engaged I felt and how human I felt. Like reinvigorating. It was a very good feeling. I want more. I want more of that feeling.
Yeah, so I feel like that was not a hurdle that existed when we were little.
Right. And there will always and have always been things to distract mothers. Some of those you can't get away from. Like you gotta cook food.
Right.
You gotta keep a clean house.
Right. Yeah.
You gotta do all those things. But I do remember just the general feeling of knowing I never had to wonder if you were going to be there. I never had to wonder if you were going to be available or if we needed something.
Really dependable.
Yeah, very dependable.
Yeah. I feel like at the time in the moment, like, when your kids are little, you're just not going to be able to keep up with everything the way you normally do. And I worked. I was home, but I worked as well. And then to come home and cook on top of that, it felt daunting. So it's really amazing, like what you all remember. It's so encouraging because when you're in the thick of it, it felt like overwhelmed sometimes. But praise the Lord, I just loved being a mom. I've always loved being a mom, and I never that was always my priority. I shouldn't say I never had friendships. I had friendships, but my priority was always like my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have always enjoyed being a mom from the get-go.
And
I
you
thought I'm
say,
made for this.
yeah, and you say like you worked, but I guess the years that you were home babysitting, those must be my core, because that's what, whenever I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, my mom stayed home with us when we were little.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well,
I do vaguely remember the years of babysitters, I guess, or going to grandma's, but
I was going to say that you did spend the majority of the time when I was working, you spent the majority of the time with your grandmothers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that makes a huge difference too.
sure.
Because you had very loving, affectionate,
Mm-hmm.
attentive grandmothers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that those were very formative years, because all my big memories revolve around times that you were home.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good.
Except for the one where Brittany had to scream her head off at the babysitters. I do remember that.
I did.
Oh man.
Yeah, baby.
She's probably still living, so we won't mention names. But I still remember this. You were in the pack and play, like all day long,
Oh,
crying. I think I told you.
Joe, you told me about it, and that was the end of that. I went back to the grandma's, and I think maybe mom was working part-time, so it got a little sticky. But you came home and told me that Brittany's just in the playpen all day. It wasn't pack and play back then. Brittany's in the playpen all day. And I'm like, what do you mean she's in the playpen all day? She's just in there all day. She plays, everything was in the playpen. And I was like, oh no. I mean, because I was already dropping my kids off and crying at least 2 days a week, leaving them and going to work. It was so hard for me to leave them. And so then when I found that out, then that was the end of that babysitter.
yeah.
You didn't last. You had 2 babysitters. You didn't last long at either one of them, really. The one was a little bit better than the other.
Neither was great. And
But you know what I want to say is I'm so thankful, because you would have been about 2.5, maybe 3. And the fact that you could tell me, because if she had been there and I'd have no way of knowing that she was just laying in the pack and play crying all day.
it might have been
Playpen.
my earliest memory, because I have
That's
physical
young.
memories of being, it was a square playpen.
A playpen.
It was square. And I would mush my face up against there and try to cheer you
Maybe
up.
we will cry.
I might cry.
Stop, I'm gonna cry.
That's so pitiful.
Oh. Yeah.
Like a smoker.
Yeah.
Okay. Truly, my sweet little, I didn't realize I was that young. I would just sit there with my little face up there, and that's probably when I told you, is because I kept going there to try to cheer you up.
You and your anxious attachment.
That's probably what did it, honestly.
It might have been. It was very. How do we pick up from that?
Needless to say, you were available, because then when I did tell you that, you yanked us out of that place, and you always got us to a good place, a good safe spot, where there was,
Well, I'm
we
thankful
were
I had
there.
that. My mom, and your other grandma, they were available. So had they not been available, it would have been a different story potentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pause that second, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm leaving you guys because all I wanted to do was be a mom. So there's no way we could have afforded it.
This is gold.
I really did. I just wanted to be a mom. It was really hard to go to work, and I really did cry a lot on my way to work. But we could not afford, this was just our life. We had to put food on the table. And so it was really hard. So I feel for moms who are in that struggle position too. And I'm grateful that then by the time I had your brother, then it didn't pay to work.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make any money. It would have been a wash. So then I was able to come home and babysit. That was great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where my core memories really start.
Mm.
I don't know when my core memories start.
And you would have been 4. And you would have been about 2.5.
2. I don't really have any memories of the babysitting. Like I don't know when my core memories kick in. I mean, maybe it's a little depressing, but I really feel like I have memories playing in the hallway of the trailer.
Okay. Yeah.
And with a little kitchen and laundry thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like flashes of memories, but like core memories, I feel like start whenever we were sitting in the living room and you and Dad told us you were getting divorced.
Oh, that's sad.
Which would have been like 5 or so.
Yeah. Yeah, 6. 6. I either really truly like, do you remember that? Like I read books to
we
you.
read books
I
all the
sang
time.
to you, or we would lay there and watch some Disney movie for a while. And
Or we coloring books a lot together.
Yes, coloring books was another one.
But before bed we didn't as much, did we?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, before bed though, it was like, I think I just wanted to give you as many comforts, consistencies. Also, I loved that. I enjoyed that time of day because I was gone from you a lot. I didn't have a really early bedtime because I wanted to get as much time as I could, which probably should let you guys go to bed.
No, I think it was worth it.
I think it was worth it too.
Yeah.
And I like that perspective because, like, as a mom who stays home full time, bedtime is a mixed bag for me. Now it's fine.
Yes.
The kids are all old enough, but when they were all young and I was needing to put all of them to bed and then they're getting up and they're needing this and then blah, 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 blah. I felt
It's like, I need you to go to bed now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to be done. I would always say,
I need my
nice
off hours.
mommy clocks out at 8. So we've established that mom was very available.
And they had a traumatic childhood.
Mildly. I'd say in the realm of childhoods, it was mildly traumatic. Okay. Nothing out of the realm of what at least 50% of children across the United States experience.
Right.
So if we go back to the whole sisterhood, getting along, I remember when you were like a baby. And I could tell Jessica was a bundle of energy. And Brittany, you were just chill. And I thought, this might be interesting. And so I took pictures and I made this whole like segment of a photo album because I thought one day I want them to be able to look at these pictures and think, we really did love each other. Because I could see like their personality differences were pretty significant when they were little, which did carry out through your lives.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
It definitely did.
A lot of fighting.
A lot of fighting.
A lot.
Of great times too. Like
Great times, yes.
like
We had
games that we played. And as long as you followed all my ideas, we got along great.
That's very true.
And as long as you could handle Brittany just going off to have her space and her downtime,
Which I
and
never
didn't
handled that.
force her to do it, everything was great.
No, as I never handled that well.
No.
Why doesn't she want to play with me?
Nathan doesn't love me.
Yeah. Well, we all have our shortcomings. But
that is a huge piece. I have talked to other parents who talk about their kids not getting along, fighting, mean to each other, blah, blah, blah. And I have told people it really wasn't until we didn't live together
True.
that we were able to make real headway in our relationship. And I think we could have done that sooner. It's not like you have to, it's not like it had to be that we lived apart, but I think until we really learned how to understand each other better,
I agree.
living together was very hard.
I think living together would still be hard.
Yes, I do too.
I
think it would be much different than like our high school years.
Oh, I agree. Because think about it. We were still having real discrepancies. Even when mom lived in the Sugar Bowl house. Do you not remember this?
We're both pretty equally stubborn.
Yes, in totally different ways though. She is immovable. I'd say you are more immovable and like, no, that's it.
Which served me well in teen years and peer pressure. That just really did
Absolutely.
not have an effect on me.
Yeah, but I would also say I was not easily peer pressured.
No, that's true.
No.
That's true.
Even though our personalities are so different.
See, stubbornness can be a virtue.
That's right.
But yes, you're right. I think that it really, there's a lot of hope for while kids are growing up,
Mhm.
even if they're fighting, there is still hope. I'm not saying just just let it run its course.
No,
Because we'll talk about that
Let 'em
later.
fight it out. Yeah.
But okay, as I got a little bit older,
Mhm.
and I was in like first grade, I remember going out to the bus stop.
Say high school or something.
Nope.
I did too.
No,
Okay, first
this
grade.
is a core memory.
Okay.
Mom really wanted me to wear these pink pants to school. And I did not want to wear the pink pants to school. And I threw a big fit, okay? And then she finally was like, okay, fine, like you got to go get on the bus. While I'm out at the bus stop, I'm like, I forgot something. I ran back into the house and I
Made the
felt
bus driver
so
wait.
bad. I was crying. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I wear the pink pants. Anyway, all that to say, I feel like in our home, there was with mom specifically, there was a big emphasis on apologizing
Mm-hmm.
and offering forgiveness.
Yeah.
And I think that went a really long way because we are going to hurt each other in relationships.
Yes.
That is the way of the world.
Life.
Yeah. But when we do, we can make
Mhm.
things right.
Yes.
And so that illustrated that to me, I think, at a very young age.
Yeah, that's a huge. I think that's a huge piece of parenthood, specifically if we're talking about moms, but dads too. To have that humility to not make it like, no, I'm the one and I'll never apologize to my kids because then I lose whatever perception they're going for. I don't think that is worth it.
Yeah.
I
No.
don't think it's a Christ-like attitude either. If you know that you have wronged anyone, including your child, having that dynamic,
Yes.
I think goes very far. Because then you feel like your parent is on your team, like you're in it together versus like it's you versus me.
Also, it gives you context for, okay, my parent messed up and humbled themselves.
Yeah.
So when I mess up, I can humble myself
Mhm.
and I can make things right, or I can, repent.
Yes.
So I think that there's a lot of relational modeling as well as, like you said, just like biblical
Mhm.
living modeling that
Right.
happens in that whole attitude.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, now let's go older still. Let's go to like preteen.
Preteen years and early teen were such a weird time of life for me. I don't know that they were for you. I mean,
Definitely it was an awkward time of life.
You both dealt with bullying, being bullied.
Were you bullied?
Yes, you were it was the
sixth
first
grade.
online bullying
It
experience
was
we had. and I
Yahoo
was like,
Messenger.
What's gonna
I
happen?
forgot about this. I
liked
liked a boy, she liked a boy, and she was gonna let me know all the stuff.
She said mean things. It was terrible.
Well,
Yeah.
I did get bullied also. 6th grade.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
sixth
yeah.
grade.
It was
Kicked
bad.
out of the group officially.
Oh, yeah. Very mean.
Publicly at recess.
Publicly at recess, had to go around to all the other little cliques and be like, "Can I play with you? Can I play with you?" And
poor
everyone,
Jessica.
I remember this one girl was like, "I totally would let you, but like, I just don't think that you're gonna. We have our own problems."
Drama.
I was not very good at just laying low. Like when you got bullied, I went to the teacher, I went to the principal. I was so upset because it was really meanness.
Yeah.
It was really bad. And then when you got bullied, I went right to that girl's mom. I went to their house and I talked to her and I told her exactly what had happened.
It was several girls.
It was a lot of girls, but there was a ringleader.
It feels dangerous for a teen. Do you feel like it was hard?
It was hard, but when I think of my teen years, I think of those as hugely, like the foundation of my faith was built so much in that time. Because when I was in my room and wanted to be alone, I was listening to Christian music. I was reading Psalms. It was all these things that helped put words, because I really struggled to express what I was thinking and feeling. I couldn't.
I don't even know if you knew exactly what you were thinking and feeling. You did a lot of Bible studies too.
Yeah. So I think reading Psalms, listening to music helped give voice to what I was thinking when I had a hard time expressing it. Or I wrote poetry too. But I preferred just the privacy of that. That's not the same for everyone. Obviously, some people get more isolated and it is a negative.
Sure.
Because I would say you were much more, I don't want to say isolated, but yeah, you would really isolate yourself. That was hard for me because I am not, like, by nature an extrovert, but I was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
I remember feeling like there's too much cooking and she is not telling me. And I did get worried, but I also wanted to give you space because you weren't going to force her to do anything she didn't want to do. And I knew that. And then, so you were processing very internally, and I knew that.
And what's interesting,
Probably the unknowns were hardest for you because I didn't know how to me, it was like, oh, like mom's freaking out for no reason. Like this is not, there's nothing to worry about. I just want to be alone.
Right.
But you didn't.
From a parent's perspective, and there was a lot of dynamic. There was a lot of other things going on in our lives. And so, yeah, I was really concerned. So you were processing things so internally, and then you're coming to me and once again processing externally.
And what's funny is we did a lot of the same things, reading our Bible, even in the room. Like I would go up in my room, read my Bible,
listen to the music,
write poetry, listen to the same music. Yeah, all the things. But then I would want to go talk about it.
Yes.
That was the key difference probably then, because as you were talking, I'm like, yeah, I would say all of that's true of me too. It's just,
you would at the end of that want
I'd be
to
like,
express it to somebody.
Yeah.
Where that part was not part of my process.
And I would say then for me, one of the things that fostered closeness, as simple as it is, was that your bathroom was the hub in the morning where we would all get ready.
Yeah.
We would all fix our hair, do our makeup.
Right. We all left the house at the same time. I drove them to school or to my mom and dad's house, and my dad would take you guys. So we were on the same schedule basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I think is what most families are. Like as the parents are getting up and getting ready for work, the kids are getting up and getting ready for school.
Right.
But it was
getting ready together was
a connecting point.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually
good memories of that.
Yeah, that's like a real touchstone part for me of why I felt like we were friends. So I think that I actually would have even told, I know I did, I told my friends in high school, like I would say my mom is my friend. So by the time I was in high school, I felt like that we were actual friends. That parents hate saying that for some reason.
I know.
But that didn't mean that I got to do whatever I wanted. I actually probably had more rules than all the rest of my friends who would not have said their mom was their friend. It just meant that we were also friends. That doesn't mean you're also not an authority figure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Christ was an authority figure. He was the king and a brother, a friend. Yeah. So,
and it's interesting. It's fun to think about, like in your mind, the way you would filter through things, like that idea of friend stands out. Because to me, I would have thought I have the best mom ever. I love my mom, but I wouldn't have thought to categorize it as my mom is my friend. It was just like my mom is my mom and I love her and she's great.
She's a great mom.
Yeah, I'm close to my mom, even though it probably didn't come across that way. But it's just funny the difference in just the way people think about things, or the way that it's helpful to categorize or whatever for different people.
And as we were going through the high school years, we actually had a lot of times that we did get along.
Yeah.
We did musicals together. We did choir together. We went swimming in the summers together.
Yeah.
We jumped on the trampoline together. But we did a lot of things together. And we had great times. We also really didn't understand each other.
Yeah.
And fought a lot.
We fought hard. Yeah.
We were not always on friendly terms together. Most of it, I think, was that we did not understand each other.
Yes.
And we had just completely different ways.
A lot of misinterpreting each other.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's, I think, something that I value so much, having worked through it together, and even being able to apply that then with my kids, to take the things that we learned from each other and our dysfunction and then help facilitate a better function in our respective families.
Yes. And even in the way that I understand some of my children who are more like you.
Yes. And my children who are more like you.
Right.
Isn't it nice how God gives you a sibling to help you understand different personalities,
Yes.
even though it's painful at the time when your children growing up together.
We had, so our big moment happened. I was pregnant with
Your second.
my second, and I don't even remember what we
I
were
don't know
upset
what
about.
I don't know what the fight started about.
There were a
You
lot of
were
fights, so
super
I don't
hormonal and pregnant. Okay, so
Yes.
it was probably your fault.
And you were living with us at the
Yeah,
time.
you were living
We had
with
sold
Mom.
a house.
Tensions were high
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
And we started fighting about who knows what.
I don't know.
I have no memory
I
of
have
what
no
the
memory.
fight was. And Mom made her top shelf mom move.
I don't even it just happened. It was so spontaneous. I can't even take credit for this.
Spontaneous genius.
I know. It was just I just said, you girls are going to have to work this out. You need to stay in here and you figure it out.
That is not how it was said.
You did not say it so calmly.
I was always the mediator. I was
Because we were in
always the
that
mediator.
hallway into the kitchen.
I remember. I
or something.
visualized where we were.
And you were like, you girls are going to stay in here and you've got to work this out. This has got to stop because
I am done. Figure it out.
Tensions were high.
But you stayed in there and you were mediator.
Yeah, I remember being there. I remember being present.
I remember I was sitting on the countertop.
I don't remember. I think I was standing.
You were standing
Probably
because you were
pregnant.
And I sat on the counter and you were there helping us.
I
I don't even remember what all was said.
I don't either.
It was
I
one of
think-
those,
yeah.
the Lord was moving.
You were married. You had children. You were not even in a relationship at that time. You wanted to be married
What year?
badly.
This would have been
You were still college
before I
age.
went to West Virginia.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there was just a lot of under the surface. And I think that in classic Brittany fashion, you were internalizing a lot, but you had never really fully processed it or even given full, I think, vocabulary to what you were feeling.
That the biggest thing that I remember is that I was completely caught off guard by was that the way you summed it up was basically that you had a lot of jealousy.
Yes.
You were jealous that I could talk
I
to
do
people.
remember
You were
this.
there were several things that made you very upset. And my biggest thing was I feel like you hate me.
Yeah. Yes, you always felt like I hated you. And I, at the root of it, was pretty jealous because I think, just like the things you said, you were way better at talking to people, making friends, but also you were married. You had children. You had the life that I was envisioning and I wasn't even close to at that point.
Mhm.
And that was hard. And I think that was what we fought about was, and maybe you were complaining about something with pregnancy, or maybe there was
knows?
something that was you're complaining and you have everything that I wish I
think
could
it
have.
was. It was. It was a hard.
I can't
You had a lot
remember.
of pain. You had a lot of back
Oh,
pain.
that's
or
right.
you
I
were
actually
Open ligament
that's right.
pain.
I forgot about that. I was in so much pain that pregnancy.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
rough one. That was a
Yeah.
rough one.
And
Tensions were high.
tensions were high. We got hormones. We got chronic pain.
Yeah.
We got
two families, living in the
unrequited
same-
desires.
Yeah.
Yeah. So two families living in
But
one
we
house.
really hashed it out.
Mhm.
And that was the turning point.
That was the turning point.
Because I think we were able, in whatever way we were, I don't remember what all we said.
I don't
but
either.
whatever we said brought us to a point of more understanding.
Yes, it was understanding
Yeah.
each other that I think really turned the corner
Yeah.
into a new relationship. And then it was still, I think it still took us some years.
Well, it was just more awareness of personality
Yeah.
and there's not a right and wrong personality. Obviously we all have sin within
Sure.
ourselves, but in terms of you're an extrovert, I'm an introvert, you are more emotionally minded, I'm more logic minded.
Yeah.
One's not right and one's wrong. And I think that helped a lot.
I think
To-
seeing this, that each one has strengths.
Yes.
For me was really helpful.
Mhm.
Because truth be told, whenever I was in my young adulthood, especially, it was very out of vogue to be an extrovert. I feel
Okay.
the extroverts are too much. Think about this. This was the phase of when it became very popular to talk about how much you hate greeting of friends at church services.
That's
being a
funny
hard-
because most of my life I always felt like it was, what's wrong with being an introvert? Why do
do
I have to be an extrovert?
I do feel like our teen years, it was more expected or accepted to be an extrovert.
especially for girls, I feel like.
For girls especially,
Yeah.
even for guys
That's
though.
kind of typical teenage.
Yeah.
I would have said that was kind of like, if you think back to like the movies of the teen movies of the day,
Mhm.
like it was a lot of that. But then it turned this corner and it became way less acceptable to be an extrovert. Those were the people who were too much and just couldn't shut up and just
Yeah.
couldn't let me do my thing.
It was the ditch. Yeah.
And so I probably internalized some of that too, because I would have thought it would definitely be preferable to be someone who naturally just didn't open their mouth, which is true. I mean, it actually is true. There are times where you shouldn't open your mouth.
Sure. And that's like the ebb and flow of any personality.
Mhm.
You know, like my challenge was be more expressive, be more communicative. And yours maybe was
hold your tongue,
hold back a little bit, you know, like,
restrain.
right.
Yeah, for sure. And I just think that stellar mom move was the turning point and probably brought us all closer, because then we all were able to enter into one sort of friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And then in actuality, like in just a little over a year and a half later, you were engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that then you were starting, the desires of your heart were starting to be filled. Also, I think it gave you a different perspective on relationships and Jessica and things she dealt with that you hadn't dealt with yet. And then I think you had a little more compassion for her, like, oh, maybe she's not just all that in a bag of chips.
Compassion actually goes a really, really long way in all relationships.
Yeah.
As soon as we're haughty and we think like we think we're the best parent we know before we have any children.
Yes. Yeah.
Or maybe when we have one child, first child. But once you realize the Lord is going to bring each person their own struggles, their own trials, and then each of us will be sanctified through all of those things. We don't all have to make the same decisions. We don't all have to think the same way, act the same way. The Lord's going to do his work no matter what. That place of being more humble about it, I feel like really helps all relationships in general.
Right. I agree.
Because you can extend a lot more grace.
Yes. And I think that's important to remember. We've talked about this before, but even as your kids grow, to realize they're not all going to have the same personalities, the same needs. Like some do want more freedom, more independence. Some do want to be around you a lot more. And to navigate that also, and giving your kids the freedom to be like, this is who they are. It's okay. I have expectations. I like to say, like, I have no expectations and then I won't get hurt. But I do, you do. And I think it's healthy to have some expectations. We have some sense of duty to one another. I have a sense of duty to you. You all have a sense of duty to me. I mean, we don't say those things, but it's just we just know it. We feel it. And I think to appreciate just that we're not all the same. We're not cookie cutters, and we can't have the same expectations for every parent, for every child. It's going to look different.
Yeah, because I think in engaging with my own kids, because each of them have similarities to me, but each of them has things that are very different. I have one that is more like chill, but is more needy. And that's really hard for me sometimes. And so in motherhood, to let your kids be who they are and to help them like strengthen weak areas, but not make them feel like you are sort of broken because you operate like this.
Right.
To let them, like, just because it's different from how maybe you would be as the parent, it doesn't mean that it's like an automatic flaw,
Right.
to leave room for that.
I think another thing is to be praising one another, especially our children, so that when there are corrections to be made, constructive criticisms to be made, it's not falling on a bed of like what's already
a lot of criticism.
I have different children, all have different personalities. Some it is more natural for me to notice like the things that they do really stand out to me that are praiseworthy, and others, they do tons of praiseworthy things, but my brain doesn't see them as readily. And so trying to train myself to see those things and
Mhm.
speak those things. Always hug, always kiss. I think it is so important to have wholly appropriate affection
Yes.
between parents and children.
Yes. Because in my opinion, I think Kenan and I have talked about this. I feel like physical affection, when it's genuine
Mhm.
and true and just great parental affection,
Mhm.
it just even across family, there is something about, I mean, we know this, there are studies about the effects of a hug, the effects of
Yes.
physical
Yes.
contact,
Mhm.
where it does things for your
Mhm.
brain, for the relationship. I just feel like hugs can cover a multitude of sins.
Yes.
It's a good slogan. It's a
Like
t-shirt.
you can,
It's a t-shirt.
there's when you feel that sense of that safety through that affection,
Mhm.
it can, I think about that with grandma. Grandma
yeah.
was a whole basket of goodies. But she was so affectionate and she loved so hard
Mhm.
that it
Covered a multitude of
counteracted
sins.
the parts that were like,
Mhm.
what you got going on?
Mhm.
Like,
Yes,
It
yes.
did. It
and I
did.
really feel like that.
I agree.
That goes a long way.
It
Being
does.
affectionate. Well, one other thing I was
Oh,
going
go
to say
ahead.
is I feel like teaching your kids how to fight well,
Yes.
like how you facilitated our fight.
Yes.
And I don't think, like, some people are like, oh no, you shouldn't ever fight. I think you just have to fight well.
Yes, I
Right.
agree.
Like that's what Kenan and I always say.
Mhm.
Like we get worked up, but we're not, it doesn't feel like fighting. It's just you're working out the thing.
Yes.
Like you're pushing and pulling
Right.
to get to that
And it's a
solution
skill.
and that
And
resolution.
it
It's a skill.
it takes a skill to not. We were never allowed to like do a lot of name calling.
No.
And so I think that when we really came to the time to fight and battle things out, but I don't think we were slinging name. It was
Right.
kind
It
of stuff.
wasn't like, yeah, it wasn't name calling and just trying to
Right.
take
And in
digs.
marriage, I think that that's important
Yeah.
too. As soon as we would try to take, there's a big difference in speaking from your own perspective and like, hey, I'm going to believe the best here. But this is like how this is coming off to me versus like you always, or you
Right.
never, or you're just this blah, 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 blah.
Which I'm sure we did do some of that.
Oh, I know
But-
we did growing up, but I feel like
But it's less
when
productive,
we
yeah.
learned, we
Yes.
actually learned to productively fight.
And
that was
so
when
much
it
of that I
changed.
feel like comes with maturity
It
too.
does.
Because you reach, when you're growing up, you don't have the perspective or just the mental development
Right.
of empathy, you know?
Mhm.
Right.
And so growing in that skill of empathy to be able to see from another person's perspective.
Right.
And so don't lose hope
Mhm.
when your kids are young and it's like, oh man, are they just going to always hate each other or always fight or whatever?
Right.
I feel like with
And
maturity.
as a parent, though, and I think you girls both do this, it's you do have to teach them how to disagree or what's
Mhm.
acceptable and what's not acceptable when you
Yes.
disagree. You can't go slinging at each other. You know what I mean? Like you did. I'm sure you hit each other, but that's not acceptable. Can't do that. You can't call names. You can't, because one day you will be an adult. And I am a firm believer that the habits we make as children can carry over into adulthood.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And often these things do carry over into adulthood. So I think that is really important. And I think that you've both done a really great job of
Thanks.
guiding your kids into how to disagree well.
Well, and I think that you have that skill to not, we always call you the nonconformist and you hate it, but you're not afraid to like butt up against ideas, I guess, in general. And I think that went a long way for us to not be afraid to stand up for what we think or what our perspective is, but to also be able to hear a different perspective and morph our own perspective based on that kind of push and pull.
That's great. I mean, praise the Lord.
Right. Or at least to come to a place where I might be like, I really don't see it that way, but I can understand why you do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just being able to, see something from someone else's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And so you weren't afraid to let us fight in,
Right.
like you said, we had the parameters, but we were allowed to fight and disagree and be mad or whatever. But I feel like there was such an openness that you facilitated where there wasn't really stuff that was off limits. It wasn't like, oh, that's we're
That's
not
a
going to talk
topic.
about that.
No.
That's inappropriate.
Right.
That's, obviously you were age appropriate with us, but it was never like, we don't talk about that.
There
Or
were
that's
no,
off. There were no
we
like,
don't talk
taboo
about Bruno
off,
topics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is also huge in facilitating closeness, is just when your kids know, I can ask you anything, or I can just say whatever is on my mind. And it's not like, what?
I can't believe you're thinking that.
Right. Yeah.
Even, and speaking of age appropriate, like even if we would have had a question of even an intimate nature, by the time we had the question, you never made us feel like it was inappropriate.
Right.
I mean, because by the time kids are able to ask the question, they're usually ready for at least a little bit of the information.
Emotions are part of being a human. And I think that just to accept, we're going to be happy, but we're going to be angry. People are going to be passionate about things, and people are going to want to isolate themselves. I feel like every emotion is listed in the book of Psalms. We have all these emotions.
Right.
To pretend that we're not going to deal with this stuff is crazy. But I think the important thing as parents is to try to help our children know how to deal with them. Listen, I was not this forward thinking. I feel like you guys are so much more forward thinking than I was. And I just praise the Lord that it worked out.
Yeah. Because coming into adulthood, like more current years, I would say things that facilitate continued closeness would be your home is always open. You have closeness with each of the grandkids. You have relationship with each of the grandkids. I think that there's just a lot of phone conversations.
I truly just I really love my kids. Like, it's not just like, oh, they're my kids are coming. I genuinely, you are my best friends.
Yeah.
My kids are my best friends. Some of them want more relationship than others, and that's okay. Wherever you are, I'm going to meet you there, and that's okay. And I think
which has taken you a while, I feel like, to get to that place.
Like we've talked, the empty nest was really hard, and to figure out what is my place amongst each of my kids, because it's just different. Each kid has different boundaries, different desire, and some of these aren't spoken things. It's just kind of understood, and you have to navigate that a little bit. I'm not the kind of person who was going to be like, well, they're gone and let's turn that off, see them a couple times a year and that's it. I couldn't do that. But I do think that as you're raising your kids, just like as in marriage, you think, okay, here we are. The kids aren't going to be here forever. It's going to be the two of us. So we need to nurture our marriage. It's the same thing with your kids. Your kids will not be your children forever. You will not be able to discipline them the same ways. You will not be able to tell them what they can and can't do, or can and can't wear, where they can and can't go. But you will, if you want to have this ongoing relationship, I think it's really important as they mature to start to transition. You still are their authority when they're in your home. But if you intend to have a relationship that endures your whole life, you will be adults together. We are sisters in Christ together. And I think that is a different perspective too. It was I think that's what made it easier to transition into kind of having more friendship with you, because you are my daughters and I love you and I could cry now, but we are sisters in Christ. And we were, I was 19 when I became a mom. We somewhat grew up together.
Yeah.
And so I'm just thankful. I'm so thankful for our bond. I'm so thankful that you guys have so many great memories.
I just thought of another high school homework together. Yes. We were not left on our own to write our papers. We wrote everything together.
You helped us a lot.
Yeah. And
I remember I confessed it on one of my elementary papers. I outlined. I said, I did it. I did this part. And then the other part said, Mom helped me.
That's really sweet.
But yes, I think that I never thought of it as helping you, in the sense of cheating.
No.
I thought of it in the sense of modeling.
Yeah.
It is a proven method for
teaching,
writing specifically.
You were teaching us.
Yeah. This is good. This works. This
we would brainstorm together. We would be like, that word's not quite right.
I loved that. I loved those years. That was fun.
And then when we got older, I remember my year before I got married, I didn't do a summer job. And I just hung out with you at home, and we baked bread, and we picked blackberries, and we made jam, and we painted the house. We did all these different things.
You made soap.
We made soap.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. We did all kinds of fun homemaker.
Yeah. And things. To be honest, part of that was You guys were in school. You were in school full time. You weren't at
Yeah.
home gradually learning some of the homemaking skills. You knew, there was some of that, but you were in school, you were in extracurricular activities, you worked. So our time for those kinds of things was limited, really. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, I loved that whole
Yes,
summer.
that
It
was
such a fun time.
I think that one other thing there are two other things, but one of them was, I think, having fun and being silly and laughing, sort of like the affection covers a multitude of sins.
Yeah.
I think that being able to just not take things so seriously, like be goofy and silly.
Yes.
And Mom, you always somehow knew how to be funny without trying. You would just say something and it would just be so funny.
It's right, because I didn't mean it to be funny, and then you guys would take it as funny. That's usually what happened.
And being willing to like laugh at yourself, even if something came out a bit inappropriately, was like
Yes.
gold.
Yes.
That was gold, especially for a teen.
Yeah.
Like, like Mom wouldn't normally have said that, but whoops, that slipped, and now we can all really laugh about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't be stuffy.
Right.
Don't we shouldn't be so measured and prim and proper with our kids that they don't see us as people,
Right.
whole people.
Yeah, because that whenever they feel like if you can't have fun with your parent, I think it is hard to relate to them. It's hard to have relationship when you feel like we can't have fun together, because joy and fun is such a beautiful, special part of life.
Yes.
And it's like the most positive experiences we have
Yes.
are the fun, joyful ones. And so if you are missing that piece with your kids, I feel like
You'd be missing
it
a lot.
naturally makes a disconnection.
Yeah. And that kind of carried over, that fun carried over. You gave us a lot of agency over things, whether it was what we were going to cook in the kitchen, what we were going to plan. Remember when we planned that harvest party that one year? Like you let go of the reins a lot, but you were still supportive of you were part of the planning process. So then when we were adults and we did things like lip sync battles with huge groups of people and big birthday bashes for people. And it just was a very natural carryover. All of that started at a younger age. This is all in the midst. We've mentioned this, but I do think it's important to say again, this is in the midst of, no, you cannot go to that place.
Right.
No, you may not wear that dress. No, you may not do that thing or talk like that. And
yeah, it doesn't mean that we were always just like, oh, Mom and us, and we're just having a great time all the time.
And I was not always sunshine and rainbows either. Like I was still dealing with a lot of things and hormones and not feeling well and fatigue and things. So yeah, it wasn't always pretty.
I still think that's encouraging, because it doesn't have to be, you're not going to be 100% all the time.
No.
And yet when we walk away from our childhood, I think we would both say we had a great relationship.
Yeah.
We laugh about the times that Mom had her period meltdowns. And we can relate to them probably way more.
I remember that's so vivid in my mind. I get so nervous.
It was always,
especially as you got to be teenagers.
It was always the clothing that was left on the stairs.
I would fold the clothes, put them on the steps. All they had to do was
how many times are you guys going to walk past?
It doesn't have to be perfect. There's
Right.
going to be
And that's where I
flaws.
think the fun times, the affection, the positive interactions go so far, because and teaching your kids all of these factors are part of relationships.
Right.
The squabbles, the fights, the negative experiences, as well as the positive.
Yes.
And it can still be beautiful and close.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean, oh, well, we disagree, we're fighting. Okay, I guess like
Right.
I'm
that's
out.
the end.
Yeah. That's not
Right.
healthy.
and never sweeping it under the rug.
Right.
I think that's huge, because I see families who will do that. Like, I don't even know how to address this, so we're just not
With the
going
big issues,
to. Especially, the big issues.
You can overlook a lot of small
yes,
things.
yes. I'm talking about the bigger. I'm thinking more in the teen years, where you pick your battles, but you also definitely address it to some degree. It doesn't have to be a full out, like lecture.
Right.
That was the other thing, like to be careful not to just be lecturing.
Honestly, the times that I heard you the least or what was a lecture, which, man, that is tricky. I think what has helped so far, and I only have two teens now, man, getting old, is to not lecture in the moment. That it never goes well. For me, that never goes well with my kids. If we all cool off and then later I'm like, I hear you, but for real, like, we have our talk then.
Yeah.
that always goes way better.
Yeah.
Not in the heat of the moment. Because then you're just like, wah, 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 wah,
Right.
wah. But I think that moving on, okay, so into our years now, I would say,
Well, can I say one?
oh, absolutely, no.
A core memory that I have, which would have been, I think I was in college or maybe high school. I was going to say one-on-one interactions. And I think that benefits
Yeah.
extroverts and introverts because extroverts feel like I've got you. I
Right.
have your attention. I can talk. I can whatever. And then introverts, it's like, okay, there's not the chatty Cathy.
No competition.
Side note, when you were little tiny, I would have to say, Brittany would try to say something, and Jessica would start talking. I'd have to say, and this was little, like you were just like 2-3 years old. Jessica, you have to give Brittany a turn to talk. I remember that. I remember where we were driving. It seems like there was always a certain point in the trip.
I got better at that over time, I think, realizing how to
Speak up.
make myself heard a little
My
bit.
quiet one has gotten better too. I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But feeling like you have that time one-on-one
Mm-hmm.
with, with you specifically. I just remember this time we went to town, the big town. We rode on in there. We went to town and ate at Biaggi's, and we ate the bread out of the basket. I feel like I don't have a ton of core memories. I feel like you have a better memory than I do. Well, either way, this was core memory. It was just me and you. And I remember it was so chill. I don't even know what else we did. I just remember going and eating, and I can picture like the table we were sitting at and the bread, and they had the variety bread. So yummy. But the one-on-one, I think, can go really far for any personality of kid because it just gives them a chance to have your attention without the rest of the family noise.
Right.
For, however, like we do that kind of once a year. Before we start school in the fall, we do dates where each kid gets to go with me and then gets to go with Kinnan.
That's
to
really
just
fun.
have time alone, one-on-one.
That is so fun.
Yeah.
We've done that with, that actually encourages me to do it individually because we've done summer dates, but like the kid goes with me and Joey together.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the idea, especially as they get older, of just with me and then just with him.
Yeah.
I really like that. Great idea. So we touched on this a little bit, but in our current state of living, I think just still you're always willing to talk. You and I, the app Marco Polo, I think really helped our relationship because I had to marinate first before I would speak into anything, even if I'm not saying it wasn't anything intense. It was just more thoughtful. It wasn't the same type of conversation where it's an exchange. And then it was also, you had a monologue. So you said a lot more words.
Yeah.
And I think that we were able to get to know one another, even though we were farther apart.
Yeah, that's true.
In distance.
Yeah.
I feel like that was actually very a helpful tool for us.
Yeah. Because it's not the pressure of the moment. Like,
Yeah. And we have a family Marco Polo. We've started a family book club.
Yes.
That's fun.
With not just us, but like husbands, brothers. So that's been really fun. All these little things, our relationship continues to grow and get closer. And I think it's nice because we get to be best friends now.
Yeah.
And I feel like for several years now, we've felt very, very close.
Yeah.
And so that is just something I probably wouldn't have imagined.
No.
In our young.
Not growing up.
No. And so I love that we get to all be like.
Yeah. It's very precious.
Yeah.
It's very special being
It's
as
special
close
to
as we
me.
are.
To see. I mean, it took 30 years to get here, but yes, I mean, it really did. It took a lot of years for you guys to get to this point.
Yeah.
And I'm just thrilled. And I'll say again, praise the Lord, because there are no guarantees. You might raise your kids and you might do all these things and your kids might still not get along. And that's
true.
Part of life. You just don't know the path that lies ahead. You're just going to steward these relationships, pour into your kids. And I mean, it is fleet. Time goes fast. It's that whole thing like, wow, it goes fast. Like you're saying, I have 2 teenagers and your kids are getting big. It goes so fast to just be as intentional as you can. Thankfully, a lot of it's organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think maybe we do take that for granted, that and an encouragement to other parents is that we were both believers when we were still at each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I
were.
think some people feel like, well, is my child really a Christian because they're just
Right.
fighting with their sibling or so mean or
Mhm.
yelling?
They would surely not be having this
Right.
bad fruit if they were really a Christian.
Right.
But I was saved at 13.
I was 12.
You were
Yeah.
12. So we
Yeah.
got saved very close
Mhm.
in proximity to
It
one
was
another.
a decade before you
Right.
guys kind
And
of.
that's where you cannot overstate that process of sanctification. It takes time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just
That's right.
because you are a Christian doesn't mean you know everything and do everything right.
That's
And
right.
so
Right.
it really takes time to grow in those things.
Mhm.
And additionally, if you have either you're the daughter who is a believer and your mother is not, or you're a mother who's a believer and your daughter is not, that will create some sort of barrier to closeness because you are not one in Christ,
Right.
Mhm.
But I don't think that means you can't be close.
Right.
Because we have close relationships with family members that
Oh,
are
yeah.
not believers.
Oh,
Right.
So I think these things can still apply,
Mhm.
even if it won't have that same depth of richness that you get when
Exactly.
there's that umbrella factor of
Mhm.
Christ. And we have like similar worldviews
Right.
Yes.
in general, which, we
Yeah.
can't claim that that's not helpful. That is
Right.
definitely a helpful piece of our relationship.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We value a lot of the same things.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I think that for every mother-daughter, there's hope.
Mhm.
Okay.
And if anybody's listening who is at a place where you're not, where you're estranged,
Mhm.
be the first one to humble
Mhm.
yourself and apologize wherever you can and try to come back into
Mhm.
relationship however you can, however that may look.
Mhm.
I know there are some relationships that are just very, very hard
Mhm.
and people who are very, very unhealthy. And so it might not be we're popping by every week kind of
Right,
relationship or we're talking every week.
Mhm.
But there is value into having relationship with the generations who have come before us.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Go do that. We are truly so glad that you have joined us for this emotional and sweet talk. And we hope that your family relationships are flourishing. This is such a big part of the flourishing family and our heritage. So it just felt just right to talk about this today while we're all together.
Yeah.
We hope you have a great week. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.